Today's date is June 6th, 2015 at 2100 Central Standard Time. This is the first video in a series of videos I'm creating to log and document a program I'm beginning tonight that I have entitled Sralla Launch Systems. This is something I've been mulling over for a while now, and I've finally decided to start it. And basically, the idea is that I am going to build and hopefully launch a liquid-fueled rocket on a suborbital pattern. So, in preparation for this, I've put together just a basic overview of some of the information that's going into this, and kind of a process overview with some of the reasoning that goes behind it. So we'll call this video the sort of documented charter of the program's original launch. So with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and read the mission statement for this program. So the mission is the development of rocket technologies and supplemental technologies with the twofold objective of creating operable rockets and demonstrating that all achievement in any activity is based on passion and dedication coupled with scientific strategic planning. So basically the idea is that I'd like to do this in order to, one, I like rockets and I'd like to design a rocket, but two, also to show that that the scientific method is a very, very effective and very powerful thing that that we've come up with as humans. And I feel like that most people don't have a full grasp on how effective it is. So the mission of this is to one, build rockets, and then two, to explain and show how these systems work in terms of the scientific method. So next, I've got a general outline of the development process I'm going to use for the creation of these rockets. So starting, it's five stage, I believe, six stages program that's going to lead to the eventual launch of the rocket. So stage one is the knowledge stage. So going into this, I do not have a large knowledge base that's necessary in order to perform these launches or design, really. So at this time, my credentials for doing this are 2 classes in engineering at college level, 2 classes in physics and chemistry. I have 2 classes in chemistry as well. So with that said, all of these classes are quite a bit behind me now. It's been years since I've taken these classes, so a lot of the information is going to have to be relearned. So the preliminary knowledge base necessary for the basic level for the launches are going to be basic level physics before I can even start the project properly. So basically, the first stage is going to be me relearning some things that I need in order to be able to do this project. And then obviously, as we go along, I will research and acquire the necessary information in order to be able to perform these experiments and to design all this the correct way. So that's the general outline of stage one. Stage two, design of the rocket engine. So basically, before I can launch anything, I have to design something that can actually take the vehicle off the ground. So the initial stage is creating a motor, a rocket engine, capable of launching a vehicle. So basically designing a rocket engine without the vehicle, just making something that can actually launch a rocket potentially. So that's going to be multifaceted and probably be one of the more time-consuming activities of this project. It's going to require a lot of knowledge gaining, and so that's that. Stage 3, build and test the engine. So after I've designed the engine, I will build it. So the building process is going to be interesting because I don't have fabrication ability, and I don't have access to tools to fabricate. So the rocket is going to be generally built from common materials that you can find at basically home improvement stores, and basically stores you can get general common items. So that's going to be one of the limiting factors in terms of what I can build, basically the materials. So once I design the rocket engine, I will build it and modify it from there. So that's that. Stage 4 is going to be the design of the vehicle. So once I have an engine that can actually work, I'm going to design the vehicle that will actually hold the engine in it and all the necessary parts in order to operate the vehicle. So basically I'll house the rocket engine and the basic instruments that will be used for data collection on the rocket. So stage 5 is building and testing that vehicle. So I'll develop the systems and then test each one individually. And then put it into the rocket after it's been tested and can be verified that it's actually going to do what it's supposed to do on the rocket. Stage 6 is the final stage, so I'll put all the pieces together, and the sixth stage is launching the vehicle. So I'll find a suitable launch grounds and obtain the permissions necessary to launch it, and then launch. So that'll be cool. If for some reason the launch does not work on the first try, I'll go back to the drawing board and figure out what went wrong, assess, and make modifications in order to make the launch be successful. So that is that's the building process. Next, I've got a few more things in terms of documentation. So anything that I create is going to be documented to the best of my ability, generally with some kind of write-up and then hopefully a video with most of it. And then all of this will be available to anybody who wants it at any time. You just have to ask. So anybody who wants to try this themselves can. The other thing I need to bring up is like safety. So basically there are things that can go wrong with building a rocket. Like, it's a dangerous thing to do since you're working with combustion and high pressures. The potential of something going wrong and causing you injury to like your eyes or getting burns or like losing a finger or something is possible. It is even potentially possible for me to die. So the thoughts here are that obviously I'm going to take like precautions, right? So when there's really, I'm gonna do what I need to keep myself safe. But if it comes down to continuing the project or keeping myself safe, as long as I'm not doing something that's going to potentially kill me, I'm going to continue and do it anyways. I mean, obviously keeping myself as safe as possible, but continuing the project is going to win out over safety unless it is something that could potentially kill me. So, that being said, basically I just want to explain kind of the real goal of this. So, like, the overall most important goal of this project is to answer the underlying question, which is like, should science be held in a plane which only scholars can operate in? So for most of human history, science has been something that you have had to go to school and spend a ridiculous amount of resources in order to be able to operate in, because for the most part, most people aren't able to obtain the knowledge base necessary to operate in the higher sciences, such as physical activities, such as like rocket launching or building huge telescopes or something of that nature, because they didn't have the knowledge base and they didn't have the resources. So my hypothesis for this project, and like the main reason I'm doing it, is because I feel like that is no longer the case. I believe that in the modern world we have access to the resources and have access to the knowledge base without high levels of schooling in order to be able to do a lot of these things that have traditionally been held in a place where only scientists and upper level masters and PhD level of science scholars basically have been able to operate. My overall goal is to show that this is not the case anymore, and so the overall, in short, this project is being undertaken to expand the horizons of mankind and to show that mankind can do things that it hasn't been able to do in the past, and show that there is good things that have come out of what our society is, even though it seems like a lot of the modern world has a ton of new problems that are ever more complicated. So that is the general outline of the program, and I've basically created a sort of charter here. So if you want that information, it will be available upon request. I guess I can just like take photos of it and send it if you want it. But anyways, this will conclude the first recording of the documentation of this program. So I will begin on phase 1 as of now, which is the knowledge phase. So I'm going to dig in to this physics book. So I'll talk to you later.